Hello, everyone. If you're just starting to learn Spanish, one of the first things you need to understand is the alphabet. You might think that the English and Spanish alphabets are almost the same, and in some ways they are. But there are also some key differences that can make Spanish pronunciation and spelling quite different from English. Let's go step by step and explore these differences in a simple way. The similarities. Both the English and Spanish alphabets use the same basic letters from A to Z. That means if you already know the English alphabet, you're already familiar with most of the Spanish alphabet. The letters look the same, and many of them even sound the same. For example, the letters A, B, D, F, K, L, M, N, P, S, T, and X are pronounced almost the same in both languages. So that's already a great start. However, even though they look similar, Spanish pronunciation is much more consistent. In English, the same letter can have many different sounds. Think of the letter A in cat, car, and cake. In Spanish, letters usually have only one sound, making pronunciation more predictable. The extra letters in Spanish. One of the biggest differences is that the traditional Spanish alphabet has a few extra letters that English does not have. These are CH. This used to be considered a separate letter in Spanish, but today it is treated as just a combination of C and H. It sounds like the CH in chocolate. Double L, like CH. This used to be its own letter, but is now considered just a variation of L. In many places, it sounds like the English Y in yes. This is a letter that does not exist in English at all. It sounds like osh e nai in canyon or onion. This is a very important letter in Spanish, and words like mañana, morning, tomorrow, or niño, child, would not exist without it. So, while the English alphabet has 26 letters, the Spanish alphabet traditionally had 29 letters because of CH, LL, and N. Today, CH and LL are not considered separate letters anymore, so the modern Spanish alphabet officially has 27 letters. Letters that sound different. Now let's talk about pronunciation. Even though Spanish and English share most letters, some of them are pronounced very differently. Let's go through some important ones. C in English. C can sound like S in city, or like K in cat. In Spanish, it sounds like K before A, O, and U, as in casas, says house. But before E and I, it sounds like S in Latin America, or like the TH in thin in Spain. G. In English, G can sound like G in go, or like J in giant. In Spanish, it sounds like G in go before A, O, and U, but like an H sound before E and I, as in gente, people. H in English, H is pronounced like in house. But in Spanish, H is always silent. For example, hola, hello, is pronounced hola. J, this is very different from English. The Spanish J sounds like a strong H in English, like in the word hot. So, Jose is pronounced Jose. V and B in English, B and V sound different. But in Spanish, they sound almost the same, like a soft B. So, vino, wine, and bueno, good, both start with a similar sound. Y. In English, Y sounds like in yes. In Spanish, it can sound like the English Y or sometimes like J, especially in Argentina. So yo, I can sound like 说 yo or yo. Zespa. In English, Z sounds like zoo. In Spain, Z sounds like the TH in thin, but in Latin America, it sounds like S. So zapato, shoe, can sound like zapato in Spain or zapato in Latin America. The importance of accents. One thing English does not have but Spanish does is accent marks, apostrophe. These little marks can change the meaning of a word completely. For example, tú with an accent means you, but tú without an accent means you're. Sí with an accent means yes, but sí without an accent means if. So, accents are very important in Spanish. Even though the Spanish and English alphabets are very similar, the small differences are important to learn. Spanish has an extra letter, not N, a few letter combinations that used to be separate, CH, LL, and some pronunciation rules that make it different from English. Here is a quick summary. The Spanish alphabet has one extra letter, Dutchen. The letters C, H, and LL were part of the alphabet before, but not anymore. The letter H is silent. The letter V sounds like B. The letter J sounds like an H. The letter Z sounds like an S or a TH. But the great news is that Spanish pronunciation is much more consistent than English. If you remember these differences, you will be able to read and pronounce Spanish words much better. Don't worry if it takes time to get used to them. Learning a new language is a process, and it is okay to make mistakes. Keep practicing, and soon you will feel more comfortable with the Spanish alphabet. That's all for today's lesson. Thank you for learning with me, and I hope you enjoyed this explanation. Keep practicing and see you next time.